Probably our onboarding and induction material. Because there's so much content on the platform, we were able to pull together all the bits that we felt were best for new starters of different levels and pull that into our intranet and kind of create our own induction and onboarding suite, which has been really good because prior to that some of our training materials was quite outdated. So that's really helped us sort of modernise our language and some of the training. Because there's so many different training partners, we're able to mix it up a little bit so that the videos that some of our new starters are watching, are from different people, and some of it's stuff that they read, other bits sort of video content that they watch, and some of the downloadable resources as well. So the induction and training part has been really good. Also really enjoyed our conversations with Charlie Snell, who's our business advisor. That's been really useful. Quite often we don't really know what we want to ask him until we get chatting, and then we just have a really good chat and come away thinking, right, okay, ready to go again. It gives us a bit of clarity. So they're the two main bits, I think, that have made the most difference to us in the last 12 months. We've really made use of Operation Phoenix, which was something that James talked us through when we first signed up as being a really good sort of suite of material for sales and sort of bringing all the whole sort of sales piece together. So we actually rolled that out throughout the whole company as a sort of watching the videos, and then we got together in discussion groups. So that's made a massive difference, actually, sort of talking about case studies and market mapping and future proofing, and it covers so much. That it was a really good sort of refresher for some of the experienced consultants that we have, and also really good sort of early days training. But because it's quite advanced, it felt like the content was really, really strong. And there's a lot of things that we're doing now in our business that we weren't doing as well beforehand, and that material really made a difference. Again, I keep talking about the training piece, but that was a big challenge for us. We didn't have a specialist trainer, and we hadn't invested in any external training either. And this was kind of a good middle ground for us, being able to access loads of material, but use it in our own way. So that was really good. Getting consultants to sell effectively. I think most agencies have found the same thing over the last couple of years, that since COVID it was so busy, everybody got used to having jobs coming through and not having to work very hard on the sales and networking front, and they got really out of the habit of having to go out there and sort of find their own business. So it was a real struggle to get people back into the habits of having to generate their own work. We saw James at the Recruitment Expo in Birmingham, and he was doing his pitch. And actually a lot of the things that he was talking about we felt were really things that were important to us and that we were trying to kind of resurrect post-COVID. His sort of language around sort of the sales aspect of the role and some of the playbooks that he uses, and just so much material that we were able to use to give the consultants to support them in sort of getting back up to speed with selling and sort of promoting the different parts of our service. Just saved us so much time in having to create all that stuff ourselves. There's been loads actually. From talking to Charlie, we've talked about structure, and sort of moving on from what is for us a largely 360 model, talking about different ways of sort of structuring the business to 180, 270, 360s, and trying some different things. And actually not just Charlie, but the CEO peer group that I'm part of, being able to access sort of information and learns from those people as well. And we haven't actually changed the model as a result of looking at all these different things, but we're now more committed to what we are doing, because having looked at and listened to other members and their experiences, it's really helped us sort of work out what's right for us, but without us actually having to go through the pain of doing it and then realising that it wasn't right for us, so it saved us time and money. And just, it kind of helps your decision-making process and gives you confidence in the decisions that you're making. I suppose when you first join something like this, you tend to think, oh God, these are all my competitors. Why would I want to share anything with them? Why would they want to share anything with me? Because it's such a competitive market space. But actually everybody is so forthcoming, happy to share their learns and their challenges. Everybody's really honest and open. It really is a lovely community to be part of. And so much support from all the partners and the, what do they call them, gold partners, and the, as I say, the business advisors as well. There's just so much information that you can use. I mean, on a downside, perhaps slightly overwhelming, because, James has got so many ideas that you're kind of like, oh my God, it's too much to think about all at once. But when you have time to sort of settle that into your own business and try it on and speak to other members that have done some of these things before, it does just give you an opportunity to see what's out there and what's possible, and then kind of recalibrate that into what works for your own business. Probably training, as I've used that as an example for lots of things. We've really made good use of that, so that's been invaluable to us. But also I would have to mention Julia, our membership support. She basically, any queries that we have, she always guides us to the right place on the platform, and I asked her about doing 360 feedback exercise last year, and she facilitated that for us. So they're really good at sort of signposting sort of content and support that they have, because sometimes there is quite a lot to look through and you sort of don't really know what you're looking for or what's available. So just speak to Julia and say, this is the kind of struggle that we're having. What have you got for us? And she can sort of point you to the right place on the platform, or introduce you to another member that she knows has gone through the same thing, or introduce you to a business advisor. They're just really good because there's so much content and the recruitment world is changing so much. She's really good at signposting. TRN has been really good at facilitating information on AI and technology, because without a sort of a trusted partner that will introduce you to reputable people and sort of offer you a portfolio of content that all complements each other and helps you learn without actually committing to buying, that's been really helpful, because there's just so much out there and it's coming at such a pace that you really do need somebody that can sort of lay something out for you. And I think AI Mastery Skills, I think it was called, and they basically walked you through 12 weeks of different components of AI so that you can sort of learn it all in bite-sized pieces. And I think without something like that kind of helps you think clearly and sort of go through it piece by piece, it seems like a lot to sort of try and work out for yourself. So I think the useful thing is that they always seem to be one step ahead. So when you start to think of something, they seem to already have thought about it and it's there ready for you to sort of digest, which is really useful. I'll say it's an amazing, warm community of like-minded people that are always there to help each other out. Everybody seems really, not just that they will help you, they're really keen to help you. There's a real sense of, we're in this together, let's try and get somewhere. And it's such a challenging sector that we all feel a bit chewed up and spat out, and it's nice to feel that there's other people that are living the same life as you and that you can sort of help each other out. So from a sort of warmth community point of view, it's been amazing. But also, as I say, there's so much content and so much sort of future thinking that it really does feel like you just get that kind of sense of you in it with everybody else, but not just from a sort of friendly point of view, from a sort of content strategy point of view as well, which is a really good combination.